Hey, this is Tim Pierce. This is part of a larger episode where I talk about getting inspiration, overcoming roadblocks, and dealing with mistakes. Click the link below if you want to check out the episode and all the other lessons. Don't let your quest for tone get in the way of making music. I say to people sometimes that gear is transportation, music is the destination. When you come to my house, I don't care if you took a train, a plane, a boat, a car, an economy car, a luxury car, a bus, a truck. I just care that you got there. And that's how music is to me. The gear is a transportation device. It's a vehicle for making music. So if you get bogged down in the minutia and the nuances of the gear too much, you won't get past it and you won't get into the music. I know if I pick up a Strat, my favorite tone for lead is the neck pickup. There are a lot of families of distortion and boost pedals, but I've found a few that work for me. The pedal that Rocket makes with my name on it, that's on my pedal board, it's not here right now, the ODR1, and mainly this micro amp. So if I go like this, fire up the micro amp, I just get that little bit of extra organic gain that pushes the amp that gives me the tone I want. So I know that there's nothing beyond that. I mean, that's the thing. If you keep looking for something beyond what you've got, sometimes you don't realize that you're not making music anymore, and you're just looking for this holy grail that doesn't necessarily exist. I know that David Gilmour and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Hendrix, the sounds that I identify with them. Let me turn on some delay right here. Come from the neck pickup on a Strat. You can get by with just a couple of different pedals. So if you start searching and searching and searching through your pedals to get the ultimate tone, you might bypass the fact that the ultimate tone is maybe just a little bit of reverb or just a slight push from your boost pedal, or just a little bit of tremolo. Beyond that, a little bit of delay too. I love delay. Beyond that, everything else can become a distraction. And when you see sometimes guitar superstars and you look at their pedal boards and there's just like 5 pedals, I understand that now. Most of the work I do is with these kind of raw, unadorned guitar tones, just with a little reverb or delay or tremolo. Okay, so now what about this? I just figured this out. I don't think I've ever figured this out before, and it's awesome, and I might not even be playing it right. It just gave me a goosebumps learning that thing. I don't think I ever learned it before. So we all see virtuoso guitar players on the internet. I mean, more than ever. There's just guys who blow your mind. And I have a friend, Mark Lettieri in Snarky Puppy. I've known him for a long time. He started his baritone funk series, and I reached that point that we've all known where you're just downright jealous of what this guy does. It just sends me to the moon. I just love it. I wish I was doing that. My solution, and this is something I want you to consider, is that take what you can, take what you need from virtuosity, but don't let it take you down. Virtuosity, it doesn't ever have to be you. I mean, the music I grew up loving the most is so simple. Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, simple, effective, rock. That's all I really care about. But when you see a virtuoso guitar player and you start to feel bad, don't worry about it. You're going to be yourself. You're going to play the way you play, and you want to be the best version of yourself. And that can be simple playing for your whole life. But the thing to do, I think, with a virtuoso guitarist is take something from them. Take what you need from them. And the example here is that out of all this stuff that Mark's doing, I come to this one section here. That's something I can take from this. And I'm even not quite playing it, this simple thing, as well as he plays it. Part of it, he's on the baritone, so the strings are wider. You can kind of stretch them a little more. And playing along with the rhythm really helps, because it's, you know, his feel is being triggered by the drums. My point is, you can take a little bit from a virtuoso guitar player and use it for what you're doing, and you don't ever have to be that guy. And this is a perfect situation. I'd like to do something like this someday, but it will never be on the level that Mark does it. Who cares? I mean, I want to be able to play baritone funk too. My version will be much simpler, and I'm okay with that. So I'd like to talk about making mistakes. When I did the Daytime Grammy event a few months ago, there's a couple of YouTube videos that are associated with that. Had to learn a bunch of songs, and one of the things I had to learn was Guns N' Roses. And I probably practiced that 80 times. I mean, repetition is really a great thing. Just dogged, just determined repetition when you're learning something will really cement it in, and the benefits actually happen a couple of days later. Like if you struggle through something for 3 or 4 days and repeat it 100 times, you'll show up a few days later and it will be remarkably second nature. And that's kind of what happened with this. There's a perfect example of basically my reality with this particular part. No matter how much I practiced it, I still ended up not playing it perfectly. On the actual performance in front of the big audience full of people, I actually made a couple of mistakes doing it. And in my earlier years, that would have been devastating. But now, as a guitar player, I mean, a lot of the best guitar players you see out there, when they reach for stuff, you'll see them go to the wrong place for a second or two. It's just built into the search. So what I try and do these days is allow myself 3 modes when I'm playing the guitar. There's the beginner's mode, which means I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to struggle endlessly. There's the performance mode where I try and not make a mistake. And what that usually means is that I really limit my upper range of risk. And that's okay too. It means I play a lot more simple. Maybe I don't even do a song like that. If I'm going to limit my risk, I might choose a situation where I get to do what I do naturally, and I'm not trying to reach for stuff that other guitar players do naturally. That's one thing. And then the other mode would be, okay, I'm just going to let go of this crazy desire to appear perfect in front of everybody, and I'm just going to play, and it's going to be 90 to 95% accurate and perfect, but I'm going to allow myself the odd here and there. And so that's what I do these days. I choose a mode of being that is not going to make me so critical about myself that I lose the joy of my actual playing. I do take risks, and then I allow myself to laugh about it when it happens. If I have a rig that I can start like a car, if I can just practically just press a button and have it light up and go to work, I'm going to be much more likely to get started and dive in than if I have to set up 9 cables and pull something out of a case. So if you can, if it's possible, to have a setup where all you have to do is flip a switch and then the guitar is right there, everything's plugged in. You don't have to mess with a bunch of pedal cables or power cables or anything. If you can have as little distance between your desire to start and the actual gear being fired up and ready to go, you're going to have a better chance. I want to show you 2 guitars. So here's my Michael Tuttle Strat. Because it's a straight string pull, it stays in tune. One of the biggest obstacles for me for inspiration is if I have to tune the guitar constantly. And I love Les Pauls, but when I pick up a Les Paul, the G string often goes out of tune constantly while I'm playing it. Case in point. So what happens when I use this guitar, as beautiful as it is and as great as it sounds, I'm spending half my time tuning. I think Gibson's, and you guys might weigh in on this, somebody let me know if I'm right about this. You know, when this guitar was designed, I think all the strings were really heavy and all the G strings were probably wound and nobody was bending strings. It was all kind of jazz and heavy strings, wound Gs probably. So this angle here that creates these problems probably was not a problem when these guitars were originally designed. But now, for me, I'll often pick up a guitar which is a Fender style guitar with straight string pull, or a PRS with a slight bend, or one of my Tuttles with a slight bend. A modern guitar where they've kind of made that compromise and brought the strings either totally straight at the headstock or just with a slight bend. And I can play endlessly and it stays in tune. So that's something that I really recommend, is that make sure the guitar is not being so problematic that it's shutting you down with tuning issues. Generally, Fender style guitars, the ones with the straight string pull, are going to stay a lot better in tune for you. I believe they certainly do for me. As much as I love this, I mean, I love it right now.